Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 22nd. I'm Jasmine Anderson. Election Day is just 2 weeks from today, and two congressional races here on the island are drawing national attention. And a new exclusive Newsday Siena College poll shows just how close those races are. Virginia Huey has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
As Election Day nears, two hotly contested congressional races on Long Island that could ultimately decide the balance of power in Congress have drawn national attention.
I lowered taxes.
In the 4th District, Democratic challenger Laura Gillen is trying to flip the seat blue in a rematch with freshman Republican Congressman Anthony D'Esposito. According to two new Newsday Siena College polls, Gillen is ahead of D'Esposito by 12 points, 53% to 41%. Those polled favored Gillen more on the economy, abortion rights, protecting democracy, restoring state and local tax deductions, and the Middle East.
I believe that she is the right choice.
Lori Ann Wynn of Wantagh is a registered Democrat. She says her vote is for Gillen.
I think she's stronger because she believes in a woman's right to bodily autonomy, which is extremely important. She fully supports the rights of minorities, including the LGBTQ community, which I have a child who is a part of that community.
Those polled trust D'Esposito more on border issues and crime. Registered Republican Barry Cowan of Wantagh says he's voting for D'Esposito.
He wants to protect the borders. He wants to make sure that we only allow positive people into this country, people who want to contribute to this country.
According to the poll, in the 1st Congressional District, Republican incumbent Nick LaLota has a narrow lead over Democratic challenger John Avlon, but it is within the margin of error, which means the race could be a dead heat. The poll found LaLota has a slim 3-point lead, 47% to 44% over Avlon. On the issues, LaLota is favored on the economy, border, and crime. Avlon is favored on abortion. Registered Republican Eric Zenny of East Northport supports LaLota.
I think that he'll strengthen the border and stop the caravans that are coming in and overwhelming the country.
But registered Democrat Jennifer Scully of Dix Hill says LaLota did not vote for the bipartisan border bill, and that's one of the reasons she's voting for Avlon.
He's kind of just more of a common sense candidate. I would vote for him even if he were, leaning more left or more right, though, because Nick really has a proven track record of failure.
For Newsday TV, I'm Virginia Huey.
Virginia, thank you. In the race for the White House, Democrat Kamala Harris has continued to expand her lead over Republican Donald Trump among registered voters statewide. Siena College poll released today shows Harris with a 58% to 39% lead over Trump in New York. Early voting begins here in our state on Saturday. You can read more about the Newsday Siena College poll and see Newsday's exclusive voters guide on Newsday.com. Click Get More below the Newsday TV video box on our homepage. The man accused of killing an NYPD detective from Long Island is due back in court today. Guy Rivera of Queens is charged with first and second-degree murder in the shooting of Massapequa Park native Jonathan Diller. Police say he shot Diller following a traffic stop in Far Rockaway in March. Prosecutors say during a deadly encounter, Rivera also tried to shoot another officer, but his gun jammed. Jury selection is expected to continue today in the trial of a former West Islip Marine charged in the chokehold death on a city subway. Daniel Penny has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide in the death of Jordan Neely last year. If convicted, he faces up to 15 years in prison. Only in Newsday, a settlement for a Long Island Catholic school teacher who claims he was fired for being gay. The Diocese of Rockville Center and the Maria Regina School in Seaford reached a settlement in principle with Michael Califano. The former third-grade teacher from Wantagh filed a federal civil rights lawsuit saying he was fired after pictures of him kissing his longtime boyfriend were shared with church leadership. Details of the deal have not been disclosed. Help is on the way in the recovery for devastating flooding in Suffolk County. President Joe Biden signed a major disaster declaration yesterday for Suffolk. The move will unlock federal funding for local governments to address damage from the storm that brought as much as 10 inches of rain to the North Shore. The state is still waiting on requests to FEMA and the president for individual assistance that could reimburse homeowners. A plan to develop Flowerfield Fairgrounds is moving forward. A judge tossed a lawsuit against Smithtown and Gyrodyne LLC over the company's plan to subdivide the St. James property. Head of the Harbor Village and area residents sued the town and the developer, looking to stop the plan that could include medical offices, an assisted living facility, and a hotel. However, a judge said the subdivision complies with local zoning rules. A crackdown on ghost hunters at the former Kings Park Psychiatric Center. State park officials are stepping up patrols of the 532-acre property, which is now Nissaquag River State Park, from October 30th to November 2nd. Roads within the park will also be closed to the public at 4 p.m. As we count down to Halloween, we're getting the behind-the-scenes tour of one of the island's most popular spooky attractions. Rachel Weiss takes us to the Gateway Playhouse in a story you'll see only in Newsday.
What does it take to transform Gateway Playhouse into one of the most hair-raising haunted houses on Long Island? We got a sneak peek into the process ahead of opening night.
2009 is when the idea for a haunted house came, because haunted houses were starting to become popular, and a lot of the haunts we went to were scary, but they didn't really have any roots in reality. It was all sort of just fake scares, and we wanted to sort of ground it in more of a story. So we started coming up with themes for our haunted house every year.
This year's theme, a production of Camelot gone horribly wrong, with Merlin the Magician as the villain of the night. Get ready for some royal scares.
Once you walk in here, this will be Merlin's spellcasting room, and the character will be behind the desk here. There's a few automated effects that happen here. Now we're heading down into Mordred's room. So Mordred was the mischief maker in Camelot, and he's been cast under the spell of Merlin as well. And he actually believes that this is now his home. So he's living in this room. He's turned this into his little shanty. This room is getting built. This will be King Arthur's chamber.
It took Paul and his team just 13 days to bring the haunted house to life, with construction starting shortly after closing night of Gateway's production of Beautiful, the Carole King musical. Regulars of the haunt will find some familiar thrills along their way. The theme of Gateway's Haunted Playhouse changes annually, but one thing you can always count on is this swirling vortex tunnel that people can stumble through every year.
And this is our 16th year, so there's a lot of things that people love that'll be the same. It'll be, I think, a little more absorbing of a story than in past years.
All the king's horses and all the king's crew, building a haunt of medieval proportions. Rachel Weiss for NewsdayTV.
Tomorrow, we'll go behind the scenes to see what it takes for the actors to get ready to scare you. Read more about haunted houses on the island on Newsday.com. All you have to do is click Newsday right here, the Newsday tab, Newsday TV video box. Checking out your hyper local Tuesday weather, another summer-like day across the island today. Checking out your day planner after a cooler start to the day. Sunny skies with highs in the mid-70s in Ronkonkoma. Well, tomorrow, partly cloudy with highs in the 70s. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
Long Island weather is brought to you by PTRC.